Just getting started or feeling stuck? Wherever you're at, the VO Dojo is here to help you take your voiceover career all the way. Get the training, support, and connection you need to guide you every step of the way. From I don't know to working pro. You get a rock-solid foundation and all the tools you need for your sustained, successful voiceover career. Mindset, skill set, and real-world experience, all in a hands-on, hearts-in, supportive community. Join us at thevodojo.com.
Welcome, everybody. Yay. So glad to be starting the new year with you. Look at everybody.
All the people.
Yeah. So welcome, everyone, to the VO Dojo's monthly free Q&A called Ask the Sensei. I am Tish Hicks. I'm the Master Sensei of the VO Dojo here in Burbank, California. And each month, on the first Wednesday of the month, I invite one of my esteemed voiceover colleagues in various realms of voiceover to come join me to answer your questions. So really just here for everyone at any level to ask questions about something that might be on your mind, something that might be What's a question that you can ask that would move you forward in the new year? That's what we're here for today. Super excited to welcome Portia Scott, very beloved friend of the dojo, amazing agent and pillar of the voiceover community in LA for many years, and vibrant pioneer and always pushing what is possible, like exploring what else is possible in this realm. So very excited to have Portia here. Portia, yes. Why don't you give yourself a little introduction? I know we did our Dojo 21 questions just before
that was so much fun.
The holidays. So if you didn't catch that, Portia and I did, I don't know, it's kind of like ended up being kind of an hour, right? Of interviewing about Portia's origin story and philosophies. So if you didn't catch the 21 questions, totally recommend catching that in replay. But Portia, give us a little succinct overview of who you are and what you're up to.
Absolutely. Well, first off, Happy New Year to everybody. And just a little bit about me. My background come from an acting background, actually. Went to NYU, studied theater, did the whole 9 yards in that regard, and transitioned into a couple of different fields, and finally landing in an opportunity to be a voiceover agent. And thus, some plus 25 years ago, it's been that I've been a voiceover agent. Currently, I'm at Coast to Coast Talent Group in Los Angeles, and our specialty at Coast is animation, games, commercials, and dubbing content. So that's the house specialty. That's where we get most of our opportunities. Love that, and I think I see a couple of clients in the room today, so it's always good to see them. So hello. And that's a little bit about me and, my background and what we currently cover at Coast.
Let's see. Do we have some questions?
Beth Robbins.
Hi, Beth.
I can't believe I'm the first one. I can't believe it. Hi, Portia.
Hi.
So I hate to be a buzzkill right at the top, but how is AI going to affect us and those of us who are trying to get the ball rolling? Is it gonna...
So I can't be the definitive voice on AI for sure, but what I can say is that NAVA, National Association of Voiceover Artists, are working furiously and with all their efforts to try to reconcile. I know that. So really, it kind of comes down to two buckets in a way. The union AI has been negotiated, has been advocated for, and there are some protections under the union in the space of AI. which was part of our theatrical strike, right? So on the union side, we have protections, we have some things in place. In the state of California, we have really great protections. We've got the No Fakes bill, and another bill that Tim Friedlander, Karen Galfrey, and Matthew Parnham have been going to Washington to help to negotiate and work out. So we have some protections here in the state of California. They are trying to get that so that it is the entire country. Our government is a little persnickety at this time, I'll say, to be kind. So that all to say, in the union space, we have some protections. In the non-union space, we don't have as many protections. So that means that you guys have to be really strong stewards. And when opportunities come up on the pay-to-play sites, even maybe from, wherever you're sourcing your auditions, you have to really be your own advocate and make sure that you are not signing away your life rights. The money might look good, it might be enticing, but keep in mind that you don't want to sell away your life rights. And if you are, you got to make sure it's a lot of money. So that said, that's really what I can offer you, Beth, in the space of AI. Just keep researching for everyone, keep aware, find, once again, Nava is a great source to garner information, offer your input, maybe even donate some time to sort of help that so that they can get those bills, so that they are across the country, so that at least there will be some protection at the state level. Obviously, the goal would be to have it be national. Federal is really what we're looking for, are federal protections in AI. I don't think we're getting that in the next couple of years. So you just have to be sort of your own shepherd, educate yourself and connect as much as you can in the space.
And Nava is a huge resource for that. Nava, if you go to their site, if you're a member or not a member, there is a rider that Nava has created that each of us as individual artists representing ourselves can make sure that whenever we begin a relationship with a new client, that we say, all my clients sign this rider to make sure that nothing untoward is happening with my voice in AI.
Yeah.
And then I think just like everything else in this crazy world that we're living in, and everything else in this business, Portia and I have both been in the business for 30 years, like many decades, and there's been so many iterations of how things have changed. So we all always have to be understanding what's coming up, and then how do we stay in the places where we are relevant. And I think one of the things that is really interesting about what's happening, I think Terry Nicole is on. Terry is one of our dojo senseis who works a lot in the e-learning realm. I think that we were having a discussion about this, and there are places that are being impacted. The key to, I think, a lot of this is how do you find the balance of making sure that you're training and running your business so you have access to the highest level of everything that's going to be happening, right? Where are the places that are not going to be using AI, where we will be investing money in voices? Like, how do you make sure that you're in that realm, and then that you're protecting yourself, educating clients, and setting parameters in the places where there may be less work or different work, but there's always going to be less work or different work. Then the key is, how do you hone in on where do you find your work? Where do you find your recurring clients? You don't need all the clients. You need the clients that are your clients, right? Does that make sense? So, yes, things are changing. Yes, it's going to impact. Yes, we all have to be absolutely diligent and fiercely fighting for humanity, literally. But but we can't, like, how do we not get discouraged by it, right? How do we go like, well, there's going to be something, right? We're not going to have no voices. So how do you
Right.
become those voices? That's kind of my take on it.
Absolutely,
So,
and just also I wanted to say Bev put in the notes was great. It's also
mm,
there's also a Canadian version of
mm,
Nava, which is I think Kava. Is that right? Kava, yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So for those of you who are maybe not in the U.S. and that are based in Canada, there is also access in a parallel organization for you as well.
And a
So
new one in Latin American
that's
country
right.
too that Memo is starting. And Bev, Bev, you are the poster woman. Yeah, Bev, you brought one of the first lawsuits for your voice being un. Yeah, do you want to say just a little bit about?
Hi, everybody. Happy New Year. Hi, Portia, and thanks, Tish. Very, very quickly, one of the great things about what I learned when I didn't want TikTok to use my voice without my permission was that even a response in an email can be legal grounds if they use your voice where you don't want them to. So even if they won't, so I had a client today, as a matter of fact, that said, "Hey, Bev, we're getting ready to set up for the job. Can you just send us this?" And I said, "Yes, and can I get you to sign the AI rider?" They came back and said, "Oh, we've just been acquired by this huge company, and this is going to take tons to do." And I said, "Good. Do me a favor. Respond to this in this email. You will not use my voice for blah, 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 blah." They responded, "Agreed."
Mm.
Done. That is an agreement. Even that is acceptable. So
Oh, good.
No, that's
Good
there's
to
good to
know.
easy
know.
ways to
Yeah,
protect yourself.
yeah.
Um,
I will say
so
there is a pushback from a lot of companies on signing the writer.
yep.
I've come up because we as agents also have used that writer, and sometimes it goes through, and sometimes there is a pushback. But so that's really good to know as well to be able to at least communicate the bullet points in an email and have it agreed to. So that's good to
Because
know.
there was no rider when I
Right.
Hmm.
took mine to court. It didn't exist. So,
Yeah.
and it
Good, good,
held up.
good.
So, yay.
That's great. And then just in terms of mindset, Beth, because you said I don't mean to be a downer. The realities of things changing is the realities of things changing. How we respond to things changing is something that we have control over. So if you see that the water is going out, then are you diversified? How are you diversified in what you're doing? What else is going on? How do you get to higher ground to see what's happening? How do you come to these things and ask questions, right?
Right.
Like, but the mindset and heart set that we have is what we have control over. And sometimes and then sometimes it's just bleeping hard, and that's why we come together,
Right.
right? That's why we don't do this alone. So yeah. Awesome. Great way to start out. And thanks, Bev, for sharing too. What other questions do we have?
Evan, come on up, friend, and I'm gonna go grab my laptop charger real quick.
Great. Do you think that as AI usage becomes more rampant in the voiceover industry, uh, do you do you think actors will or voiceover workers will start to see a premium on their wages because people are or customers will yearn for something that sounds more authentic?
I can't be sure, Evan. It's you know what I mean. The you know sort of supposition of questions of what could happen, what potentially will happen, are very hard to answer in this space because it's just it is so unknown to a certain degree. So
Yeah.
I can't be sure really. What how to particularly answer that in a way that would make sense
Mm.
at this point.
Yeah.
So
And I
thank you.
think I think that's an interesting thing to see which way the market will go, because obviously AI will be the cheapest and easiest, and you don't even have to talk to an agent. But if you do want access, then having a someone who is an agent might be someone who would be able to help negotiate what is the value, or to be able to be like, well, what are you willing to pay for this particular human voice, right? So it's an interesting mindset that you're in of like, oh, well, what if the market goes so that we're so valuable?
Yeah.
It's an interesting way to think about it.
Carol Wiley, let's come on up, friend.
Hi, Portia. How are you?
Hi, Carol.
My question is, when you're considering representing a client, what are you looking for from them?
Sure. Looking for, actors who can execute and create performances that are authentic, that are dynamic, that can tell us more than what's on the page. So, giving the lines on the page in your performance won't be enough to compete and win. So I'm looking for people who can advance the point of view of what you're reading, whether it's commercial, whether it's animation, video game, or so forth. Tell me more than what I've been able to read.
Got it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah. And I will defer to Portia as she is the one who signs people.
Thank
I know
you.
what I do to prepare people to deliver those things, but that's fantastic. Yeah. Be ready to
All
play.
right. Brandon Reeves, come on up, friend.
I was trying to figure out if I unmuted myself. Hi, everyone. Hi, Tish. Hi, Portia. I actually met you, Portia, at VOA last year. I don't know if you
Okay.
remember me or not. So my question is, as someone who's been working in the industry, I'm entering my 4th year now. I've been consistently working in commercials the entire time. I actually just had to join SAG like a month ago, so that's an interesting thing for me.
Yay,
But
congratulations.
thank you. I feel like I've been kind of stuck in this commercial sector, and I've always wanted to branch out. And so, I made some connections and I reached out to some studios. But what's the right way to approach a studio to like say, hey, I want to submit my materials to be on a roster if that's something that you do. And then what's an appropriate amount of time or an appropriate way to follow up if there's been no answer, which
Well, I
has
will tell
happened
you
to me.
first and foremost, animation is you're not going to get much traction reaching out to studios.
Okay.
Animation doesn't really work in the same way that, say, commercials will.
Hmm.
The way in through animation opportunities, you have to have representation. So
Okay.
you can't really just reach out to Nickelodeon, Pixar, Disney, or any of those folks to be able to say, "Hey, I want opportunity here." So you really
Hmm.
have to have representation that will bring you those opportunities. That's really the space of animation and how it works. And
Okay.
I'll
And then
also
that's in
say,
terms
if
of,
that
oh,
is
sorry.
an area of interest, make sure that you are doing all of your due diligence in terms of training and classes and workout, because it is a
Right.
completely different arena than,
Absolutely.
say, commercials in that regard.
Yes.
So just make sure that you're in that and working with folks who are working in that field as well,
Okay.
whether it's coaching with a talent or coaching with casting in that
Hmm.
regard. Just make sure you're connecting in that world, because
Hmm.
that's how you start to build relationships, build contacts, and people who can provide access for you.
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've been coaching and training in that area and all of the past year. And I do have representation that kind of push them to reach out, but I don't know if that's something that they particularly work on more often. And so I
Mhm.
guess I need to approach this from a different way. I don't know if they need to reach out to different studios, or maybe I need to find an
Well,
agent
I
who
think,
does
yeah, I
work more
think
in animation.
you probably want to find a house that's one of their specialties. That's what they
Okay.
do. because, you know, your current agent may not have those resources and may not have those contacts. And thus, you know, if they don't have the contacts, they're probably not going to spend the time focusing in that arena. They're going to focus in what they do and what they do well.
Or they
So,
might they might not be getting the opportunities for
right.
you if they don't have the relationships.
Yeah.
Chips.
So yeah, so many layers to what you've shared, Brandon. So first of all, I think this is something that's really good for everyone to know, because even if your burning, yearning desire is to be at the highest levels of animation, what you've done is built a solid booking career with your commercial, is what an agent who needs to look at the whole picture of how are we going to be earning money together in all of the ways that we earn money, having a solid, booking thing, having a solid thing that you're bringing to the commercial realm is one of the ways that the money keeps on flowing. And then that is where you get access. Then you find somebody who also has those relationships in the animation world, and then you get those opportunities. So you're on the right track. Keep on
Okay,
trusting.
good to
Like,
know.
don't get discouraged. Like, because you've got the solid thing. You're taking the right steps. So just stay on the trail and keep on building the relationships. Really, keeping your skills and then building the relationships and rocking your auditions. I was just at the Nava Gala, and saw so many people and so great, and ran into Chris Brown, who is from LucasArts, and
Mhm.
we were like, wait, oh, who are you? And she's like Chris Brown. I was like, oh, and I'm Tish Hicks, and she was like, oh, Tish, we listen to your stuff all the time, and I'm like, that's so good to hear, because I send it and I don't hear anything. So it's really nice to know. Like, don't underestimate that when you do have the opportunities, that each one is, you are heard by, you might be, you're being heard by somebody who is going like, oh, who's, taking you in. So just
Yeah.
it might be a little bit, but stay on the trail.
Yeah,
Okay.
And we
absolutely.
Thank you
need
guys so
both of
much.
these things. Well, is that accurate, Portia? Like,
Yeah,
do you
absolutely.
just sign someone for commercial or for animation, even though it's one of your specialties, right? It's like one of your heartbeat things that you are super strong at. You look at the whole
Absolutely.
well-rounded player, right? Yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Good,
Absolutely.
good, good.
Mhm.
So, what else do we want to share?
So we have tons of stuff coming up, y'all. Our You Should Do voiceover January, you guys love it, so it is all booked out. But if you'd like to join, you should do voiceover February. That is coming up. We also have Kids Should Do voiceover coming up, and that is with Martha Kahn. So if you have any kiddos in your life and they're always doing cartoon voices and all those kinds of things, this
You
is a
want them to be
perfect
represented
opportunity.
by Portia someday.
Yeah, if they want to be represented by Portia someday. And then also we have a ton of awesome fight clubs coming up, which Portia has been at many times as a teacher. And we have promo.
And I might add, I've
Uh-huh.
found amazing talent in those fight clubs. So I will
Yes.
say that,
Yeah.
indeed.
So we have promo with Jared Cohen coming up. He works with NBC. We also have animation with 𝗚𝗏𝗍, and she's with Walt Disney. She is incredible. And we also have video games with DB Cooper coming up. And honestly, the fight club I took with her changed the way I acted completely. So she's incredible. So if you would like to join us at one of those, we would love to have you. Finally, we have Get to Know Dojo, Meet the Senseis. So if you're like, I don't know what this dojo thing is all about, I kind of want to learn more, you can get on a call with us. But we also have Get to Know Dojo, meet our teachers, come hang out and ask them questions about their experiences and what the industry has been like for them. They're all incredible veterans. So
That's coming up on the third Wednesday of the month. And
yes.
and also Anderson is here. Anderson is one of our dojo, Rockin' Dojo Nth Degree members, Rockin' the World, client of Portia. He's also one of our path guides here. So if you wanna find out more about the dojo, sign up to get on Anderson's schedule, and we'll meet with who you are. But yeah, he's here if you have questions for him. And then what's up for Portia? What good things is Portia doing?
Pulling it up. She has an X session coming up at VO Atlanta. Method on the mic, the actor's toolkit. I will post that in the chat. And then also an incredible class coming up with Deborah Wilson.
Yeah. That's a great workout that my part of my educational wing, Indigo Voices, we do a monthly with casting director, actor, and so industry professional in the voiceover arena. And Deborah Wilson's session is coming up. Dave Fenoy's session is at the end of this month. And then we have Deborah Wilson for February 1st, which I'm super excited about. And that information is also going to go up on LinkedIn shortly as well.
Okay, so that's what's going on. Let's keep on with, stay in touch, get on our calendar, come to these things every month. We're here with and for you. So thanks for doing that while everybody's here. Let's get back to questions. Portia's got till the top of the hour, and then I can stay on a little bit if we have other questions.
Yes, and I've taken classes with Portia as well and can highly recommend as well.
My question for you, Portia, I met you briefly at VOA like 4 years ago, I think. I'm a dual national actor based here in the UK, and I just don't know if that's something you ever consider working with, being LA based, but everything since the pandemic has gone so
I have many
global.
clients who are based in London.
Oh, okay.
Clients based in London all the time. And yeah, a couple of the clients have dual. Some of them don't, however, have O1.
I'm dual, so I've got both passports. But I'm equity over here and SAG eligible because of my gaming work and some audiobook work, but I don't know how SAG works at all. I know how everything works over here, so it's like...
Sarah, let me ask you, part of the reason that I represent folks, right, in London is or the UK, is for part of their nationality, right, is to have some authentic...
Oh, absolutely. You want people who can do both accents. Yeah.
Okay, good. Thanks. Sounds good.
All right. Rolling right along, we have Emily Holger.
Yeah. The extra U throws people off all the time. I just had a quick question on what are some of your unexpected green flags when looking at clients beyond like the good communication, having your materials ready. Is there anything that you're like, oh, I want more clients with that going on?
So I think that, listen, it's always great when when a client can sing also. Do you know what I mean? Because so much of what we do in animation requires singing. So that's always a good green flag, if you will. And a positive accents, language skills are always great because that comes up sometimes in video game, in the dubbing space, that'll come up. So just sort of those bonus things that, actors may have that are always that can be an asset to representation, is a very good green flag, if you will. So yeah, thank you, Emily.
All right. Rolling right along into the next one. Luke Trusty, come on up.
Hey, Luke.
Two of my favorite ladies in VO. Happy New Year to both of you.
Luke, what's up?
Hey, so real quick, I know what I send. I know what you get. Where's our correlation here with, is it the safe read that you're predicting is going to be the big success this year, or is it going to be going out of pocket? Because we're kind of starting to see the AI bubble collapse, and we're really kind of starting to see people go, what's really going to push the envelope a little bit?
Well, I think as an actor making choices of sending in content, I don't think it's ever great to just be safe. Do you know? Because so much of what we do in art and creativity, there's nothing safe about it, truth be told. So I would say I would take safe sort of off the list, if you will, and I would say push the envelope because it's competitive, as you see. You see the amount of content that comes in, and at the end of the day, what we're looking to do is get response from your work. And response from your work is we have an avail, we have a redirect, we have an offer. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
We're looking in those areas to get response to what you're doing. So, and obviously sort of pushing the envelope still means making choices that are effective,
Right.
right? And not so out there just to push the envelope, but it's still, there's still a realm in which it has to make sense, if you will. But ideally, I wouldn't, playing it safe is I think gonna box one in. I think that you really do want to sort of go outside and around and see, especially, if you're like, okay, we're not getting any feedback, because unfortunately we can't give the feedback is callback, is redirect, is avail. And listen, you might get an avail and you might not, it might go to someone else, but it is a recognition of your work and that you're being competitive in that regard. So I would say don't play it safe, Luke.
Well, kick ass. I'm not a big fan of buzzwords anyway. Thank
Don't
you.
play it safe. You're welcome, honey. Thank you. Good to see you.
Good to see you too.
All
I
right,
approve that
rolling
message.
right along. We have my computer trying to die, but also we have Tiffany Erickson. Come on up.
Muting. Hi, can we hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Hi everyone. Okay, I had a couple questions. I'm going to focus with seeking representation. I have a thin resume. I have a commercial demo that I did with my coach, but trying to find someone that will represent me with a thin resume because I've been booked for 4 things, but I can't announce them. I'm not allowed to say much about them, so it looks like I got nothing. So what are my chances of actually trying to find representation to find things that I can start making some money off of this versus nothing? You know what I mean?
So have you started to find representation?
I started once before and it turned into this back and forth where it's like he sent me an email. I replied about 15, 20 minutes after because I had the time and I was right there. I didn't hear from him for another week, but they wanted to meet. It was just back and forth and then he just ghosted.
So Tiffany, this, you should be pummeling the agents to find representation. You should be looking at, where are you based?
I'm from Eldridge, Iowa, so small town Iowa.
So, obviously you want to start in the regional space. I wouldn't start with your national agents at this point because they're, lists are deep, lists are thick, and we're going to want the credits, at least in some cases, not a ton of credits, but a lot of experience in that regard. So we're going to want that. So I would build out, you have to sort of build out a list, a program, right? Of who you want to reach out to, do your due diligence, do the research. Voiceoverresourceguide.org, I think, is a good resource of agents. I'm not sure if they're all national in there, so there could be that issue. But I would build a list of regional agents. I'd get to VO Atlanta, I will say, because you're going to meet a lot of people there, and there's a lot of networking that happens, and there will be regional Atlanta agents there, also national agents, and I think some other regionals as well. So I would really set sights on VOA as a good source to get out and meet people and network, because you are in a small town that may not have a lot of voiceover access. So getting into the conferences are a really good place to meet, network, and find out who's who and what's what.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tiffany.
And
Good luck.
I
Thank
would
you.
also add to this, Tiffany, like this is a little heart set thing that we keep on coming up to, right? Because there's an energy that's coming through, understandably, because you've done all the work, you're ready, let's go, man, right? Like we get this like sort of like what the man, I put so much money into it, and right? So we need that energy. We yes. We need to recognize that we are a business owner and we're not waiting to be chosen for prom.
That's right.
And so as a business owner, if you had cupcakes that you were selling, who would you be getting them out to? Who would you be talking to? Who needs cupcakes? Who knows people who knows cupcakes, who need cupcakes, right? So shift it to mindset. This is what I'm going to be talking about at that's voiceover this weekend. Shift the phraseology. There's so much of this business that has embedded disempowerment in the language, in how it goes, right? We know when we have a relationship with our agent that it is not a disempowering thing, it is an empowering thing. But there's a lot of the language. We submit our auditions and we're seeking representation. I'm looking for representation because I can't so be a business owner. Who would you like to interview to join to be on your team to get you where you want to be? It shifts the whole thing. And then you are going down VORG and you're going like, well, who's this person and what are they, who are with that? And then it's also about relationships, right? There's we can if we want to go to a concert, we can stand in line around the corner to see if we're going to get a ticket and get in, or we can press Ticketron or whatever it is that you do that again, see if you're going to get in, or you can figure out how to know somebody who can get the velvet rope lifted and just come in. So start thinking about things like that are empowered. How are you going to, how and who do you want to be working with? And how are you going to add to that? It's a different mentality. Can you feel the shift of energy? And not that you're like, oh, hey, I'm the greatest douchebag. Like don't be a douchebag, but be confident and be a business owner. If this, this is the next step, then how are you getting yourself out there? And how do you come to it with a positive and empowered approach, right? How does that feel, Tiffany? Hopefully that's
No, that makes so much sense. And I'm so eager to get into this. I love connecting with people. I love networking. I'm so good at impersonal networking.
And then trust that is happening. Trust that you are booking, and, there's, obviously if you have stuff that's NDA, you could say it's this level with a company like this, that then people are like, oh, okay, when will it be coming out? I can tell you at this date that you're not just blowing smoke, like I have many projects under non-disclosure. Like, well, no, but you actually do. So know that you're booking, it's happening. Just like we said earlier with Brandon, you're on the trail, keep on the trail, right? Yeah. Good. Yeah.
All right, moving right along. We have Jim Pilot. Are you still on the call, Jim? Also, Portia does have a hard out. So any other questions, Tish will be happy to answer them after the top of the hour.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm still here.
Hey, Jim.
Hi, Tish. How are you? Hi, Portia. Pleasure to meet you.
Hi, Jim.
I was referred to you by my producer, which I saw you on one of his YouTube clips from several years ago. My question is, do the referrals from such like producers or other voice actor coaches, does that sway your thinking or your wanting to go ahead and listen to a submission that someone sends you?
Yes, it does. And it However, you have to make sure I know the person. I get so many referrals that
Yeah.
say, so and so referred me, and I'm like, I have no idea who that is.
I wouldn't do that.
I'm not saying that you did. I'm just saying
Yeah.
overall. And who's your producer?
Chuck Duran.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know Chuck, of course.
You've heard of him.
Yes, I know Chuck. But yeah, so just so so yeah, absolutely that those referrals might get open a little sooner than someone that is that hasn't been referred. Yes.
Okay. We'll check your email.
Yeah. But
Thank you.
It goes back to relationships, right? Put yourself in an agent. Hi, I just got an email from, I don't even know. If you have your demo there and your demo speaks for itself and an agent goes like, whoa, cool, I need that. That's great. But if you get something like, hey, our friend so-and-so, oh, our friend so-and-so, cool. Like there's just a different energy around that too.
Also,
like put yourself in shoes.
Absolutely. And also keep in mind, I have, I don't know, 43,000 emails. And that is not, and that I just looked at it. So that is true. And so keep in mind that I pick and choose when I'm going to say, oh, okay, I have some time. I'm going to go in and listen to the demos that I starred. So they're not being listened to as they come in because I have some other priorities at the top of the list in that regard. So
yes. Well, thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jen.
All right. So I'm skipping around a little bit. Caitlin Meyer, I love your question about visual disabilities. If you can bring your voice in the room.
Absolutely, I can. Hi, Portia. How are you? So I feel like my first question will get answered, or it's kind of already been partially answered. So I want to ask my second question. I am visually impaired, so I'd like to speak for myself and also for my visually impaired community. Have you ever represented someone with a visual disability, and are the opportunities the same? Because we are voice, we're not on camera, on stage. But I was wondering, have you ever represented somebody with a visual impairment?
Thank you so much for that question. And no, I have not. I will say it is actually something that actually has not come across my desk, and I'm not so sure how I would really. I'm gonna be very honest, how I would handle that in the process, because I'd have to learn more about the talent and their impairment and how that plays into the unimpaired, right? How that is, because at the end of the day, I still need that talent to be able to compete in the same way as talent who are not. So it would just mean me sort of learning a little bit more information about that process and what does that really mean? So yeah, it's a good question though. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And also, Caitlin, a really good way for you to meet representation with that question of like, how can I open, no pun intended, but open your eyes to how this works, right? But like you can become the educator of that would serve everybody, and whether that's a good fit, but that's a good way to meet all of the agents, like saying, hi, this is me, I wanted to, yeah.
All right.
That's an excellent idea.
Thank you so much.
Oh, sorry, my internet is being choppy. Probably last, but certainly not least, Heather, I love your question. Come on up.
So we did already kind of touch on the first part of this, but I'll just ask it anyway. So as an actor, what are a couple best practices we can do when working with an agency so that we're just a stellar partner? But also, what are a couple of reasons why actors might lose their representation?
I'll start with the latter. You might lose, not responding to emails, not delivering content on time, Maybe it's been multiple years with not a lot of response to the work. Those would probably be the areas I think most would probably not, would result in not continuing that working relationship. And then, just in terms of, wait, what was the first part of the question? Sorry. What was the
Just a
first part?
couple of
What
best
makes
practices.
it good? What makes it good?
Yeah. So yeah, best practices. Thank you. It would be, communication, booking out, making sure that, all your documents, when we sign talent, we request for all the legal documents, not being combative. I've had come up against that. People wanting to know, oh, why do you need my W-4, my I-9, and my information? I need it so that we can get you paid. That's it. Because we are, stewards of that so that you can get paid. So just sort of having your business, like not relying on your agency to walk you through your business area of things, that you really need to be dealing with, whatever, an accountant or business manager or something like that. So having your business house in order makes the relationship really work well in that regard. And continuing to, even if you've booked a series, you've booked a couple of video games, continuing your training, because the industry is ever evolving. Every 3-4 years, the style of animation changes. The every other year, commercial vibe changes. So understanding your business in a creative sense, understanding your business side of things. So you having those things in order really does help make the relationship work smoothly and proactively.
Yeah. And I think at the dojo, as you know, Heather, because you're brown belt, we always talk about there is no they, there's only we, and that's with clients, future clients. That's with our team, right? So anything that you can do that makes your agent's day easier, your agency assistant's day easier, so that they can get things to the client and make their day easier, then like how can we be of service? So when when my manager sends me an avail, I'm like instantly like I'm available here. Then he can go, okay, great. And then we get a confirmation. And then I say I've gotten everything instantly. And then when he sends the contract after, like, here, fill this out, great, I fill it out right away. So then he can be in his workflow. He knows that that's done. It's off to the client. The money's on its way. We all can go forward onto the next thing. So just being, and then when we show up for, that goes for when we show up at a session. How are we part of the engineer's workflow? So it's a consider, that's the things that how can we make someone's day easier? Not obsequiously. Oh, how could I make your day better? Can I make your day better? But just like, let's get the job done. But recognizing that you're part of a team, right? And you're part of someone's workflow. That's really good. It's not about you. Yeah, it's good. Well, it is 11 o'clock.
Yes.
Portia, thank you so much for being here. I'm going to hang around for a little bit and we can get some other things. And then you said LinkedIn is the best way to keep in
Yes,
touch with
yes.
you, right, Portia?
LinkedIn is good. Yes, that is
Yeah.
correct. Hmm.
Okay.
All right,
Good, good, good.
guys.
Yeah,
Well,
just
thank
mention that you
you.
met here and yeah.
Absolutely. So
Yeah,
thank you
thank you
so
so
much.
much, Portia.
And for all the new people I don't know,
See
hello, hello. And the folks I do know, thank you. Good to see you guys.
you.
And enjoy the rest of the day. Thank you so much for having me, Tish. I appreciate it.
Awesome. Thank you for being here. It's a great way to start the year.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Thank
Kelsey.
you.
All right,
Okay,
thanks.
bye now.
Yeah.
If you can
Another
stick
3
around,
minutes or
please
so.
do. Tish is a wealth of knowledge, and we are very blessed that she is taking the time out of her day to be here and answer our questions. So Nicole Naffa, how much experience
Okay.
does someone need to have before seeking representation or reaching out to be added to rosters.
Ah, and how much experience or bookings?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So here's my mindset about this. Again, put yourself in an agent or manager's shoes, right? What does an agent or manager need? How does an agent or manager make money? An agent and manager makes 10% of what you make. So if you make $100,000, that agent will make $10,000, right? And we want to go into this expecting that at some point you'll be making $100,000 and then the agent will make $10,000 off of you. And then assuming that an agent has a roster of, 100 people or more, a good portion of those people ideally will be making $100,000. So we need to know what and why an agent would be interested in signing you, right? In having you join that team, right? So put yourself in their shoes and don't assume that because you don't have a lot of things so what you do need to be responsible for is, do you know yourself? Are you able to deliver on the first or second take and on any piece of copy that's put in front of you? And when you get to meeting an agent, you should be able to have at least understanding of anything that's going to be put in front of you. Like, can you deliver within 1 or 2 takes? Is your craft, is your skill up to that level that you can deliver in that instantaneous way? If not, keep on the trail, right? Is your confidence there? Do you believe in yourself, right? Because an agent is like, oh, I don't know. I don't have time for that, right? And so an agent isn't there to be your babysitter, to be your puffer-upper. An agent is there to work with you to get work, right? So where's your confidence level? What are you bringing to the party? Know what you're bringing to the party. And if you're approaching an agent, go through their roster and see who's already at the party that is bringing what you're bringing. Don't let that stop you, because sometimes big agencies have this person and this person and this person that might be in your you're bringing to the party, right? And a good agent will have, I'm on ACM's roster. I cannot do any new automotive things because I've been a voiceover for 15 years. So I'm on the roster, but I'm out for automotive, right? So like, do you see what I'm saying? Like, understand how you would fit into their picture. Because you don't necessarily, if you have something that is needed, right? If there's a gap in the roster where there's a lot of opportunities that are happening, but that agent doesn't have anybody who is, I don't know, visually impaired or LGBTQ or a certain nationality or certain thing or a certain quality of voice or a certain age range or something like that, right? Then know what you are uniquely bringing and present that first. Like, here's what I can do. In terms of booking, the best way to get an agent's attention is saying, hi, I'm making this much money. Would you like some of it? That's a great way to get to know people, right? And if you're not making that much money yet, how do you know what your potential is and how you can present yourself as, I have the potential to be working here, here, and here. Not just, I really want to, but like, here's where I see my voice really serving, and this is where I can be. Do you see what I'm saying? And it goes back to that discussion that we had about how are you running your business like a business. It's always a little jank because we are our products. So our voice is us and we are our products and stuff like that. So is that helpful? There's not necessarily a time to or a time not to. Who were we talking to that was like, Wait, who is she still here? Who is like we were talking to?
Tiffany.
But
Yeah, she's here.
Tiffany, yes, Tiffany, like that, like wow, just like know it, like own it, and having that passion. So, at the dojo, we have the rules of the dojo, the rules of voiceover, and the first rule of the dojo is know what you want, ask for it. People will give it to you if you allow. So you want to find that timing that makes it most valuable, right? And sometimes the timing to reach out to an agent is when you're at the top of the journey, right? We have fight clubs that are part of our working pro division 3 times a month, and people who are in the Mystery to Mastery program come from the very beginning, and then anyone can come and be a spectator. But you can meet somebody and say, hey, so and so decision maker in this realm, 𝗬𝗏 at NBC Universal. I am just on the beginning of my journey, but I thank you so much for taking the time at Fight Club. I was spectating. I asked this question. I'm on my journey. What you've said has been great, and I would love to keep in touch as I'm continuing on my journey. And they will say yes, or they will say no, but you've made that consideration, right? And you can do the same with any opportunity you get to meet an agent. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, so think of it as everything all along. And when you come to a fight club and meet 𝗬𝗏, like, you need to know, like, what if you're saying, I met 𝗬𝗏 and he's like, I don't know who you are. You're a spectator. But so if you build that relationship and have that, you have an understanding of what is expected, right? So then when you get a piece of promo copy, you can deliver, right? And then eventually, if you continue that relationship, then you can go, hi, Jared, I'm at a place where, and I'm not saying do this all the time, you have to ask and, get to a relationship where I'm going to be reaching out to this person, this person, this person. Do you know them? And would you be comfortable with me saying, like, do you see what I'm saying? It's how do you get a job now? People. Sorry, that's how you do it. I've got a 23-year-old and an 18-year-old. And I'm like, go meet people. Good at what you do, meet people. Right, yeah. So a little extended dance mix answered there, but hopefully useful. Does that answer your question? We don't know because you're at work and you're so smart, so pretty, so smart. Getting this in while you're at work. That's awesome. Yeah. Hopefully that's helpful. Yeah.
Tons of other questions as well. So
okay,
Bridget,
I'll try and be a little more lightning round about it.
No, you're okay. Bridget Erickson, come on up, friend.
Bridget, hello.
Hey, hi, Tish. Hi, Kelsey. Oh, and my dog says hi too. He's been quietly sleeping. I was just curious, and I know we've probably already touched on this in class, Tish, but in terms of when you're pursuing an agent, is it okay to be a little bit specialized? Like, I'm really interested in commercials. I'm really interested in narration. I haven't really done animation and video games yet. So can you kind of really sell that as a positive? Like, I'm really just focused on being really good at these areas.
Well, so first of all, do a semantic shift of pursuing. I'm pursuing an agent.
Right.
Right.
Yes.
It's disempowering. Right. So, catch an agent, like connect with an agent. Right.
When I'm connecting,
as I'm reaching out to connect with agents, right. Bring what you have, put your superpowers first. We had the discussion if like animation is your burning yearning, is your superpower. I would highly recommend, if you want to be making connections with the people who are the people who have the access to the highest levels of those opportunities, then if commercial is not your thing, get it at least to a baseline that you know what you can deliver, and it shows that you are like, I can deliver at this level, because that will make it easier for someone to take. It goes back to that discussion of being a well-rounded person and who is going to be a good business opportunity to add to the roster of other people. So obviously, don't go like, oh, I don't do this and I don't do that. And, like in specialized things like promo is not something that anyone would expect that everyone can do. And even if you want to do it, you may not have a voice that's really like naturally set out to do it. Does that mean you can't? No, you can develop it. But there's some people you talk to, and they may have never done promo in their lives, but you're like, damn, that would be an excellent. It's like, sometimes I think about it like, if you see, I'm a horse person. So if you see a quarter horse and you see a saddlebred and you see a warm blood, you can look at like what they're built for. And it's not that a saddlebred can't do barrels, but it's not really like, it's not the first thing that you'd say that horse with that conformation would do. So obviously put what you're doing first. Does that make sense?
It does. I mean, I think I'm thinking of it in terms of like, when you're writing, right? As a writer, I specialize in comedy. So I always lean into like, I'm a comedy writer, and so that's kind of a good thing in the writing community, right? To have a specialty. So I just didn't know if maybe that was a plus if you, like you said, you're leaning into your superpower. If I think, commercial and narration, that's kind of in my wheelhouse right off the bat. Do I lean into that and say, this is where I'm working right now. This is where I, do really well. Yeah. And then
where are you making money? Yeah. Where are you making money? Where do you have the potential to make money? And you can get signed with someone just on your commercial and narration demo, or just on your commercial demo, because that is the essence of you. Right. And you can get, I bet you she could, yeah. Oh, and you're a comedy writer working at this level. Oh, wow. You work at this level in the industry. Oh, well, you must know some stuff. Okay, cool. You know about storytelling, blah, blah. Right. So put all the things there. And, when you sign with an agent, like, Brandon was saying, like, I've been working in commercials, but I haven't cracked open animation. Great. But if you have an agency that has an animation department, then go like, hey, man, we're making money together in commercials. You know what I'd really like is this, and I've been training here, and da-da-da-da-da. So when opportunities come, I want, can we be thinking like this, or can you introduce me to the person who does that, right? Because here's the work I've done, right?
Yes.
So, yeah, but always put what you're best at first, right?
Thank you. Thanks, Tish.
Yeah. Yeah. All right, everyone. Thank you so much. Happy New Year. What a great way to start. And many blessings and all good things for the year ahead. Look forward to having you seen around the dojo. So we'll see you soon. Okay, bye. Thanks, Kels.
Thank you, everyone. Bye.
Thank you.